Hello everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today we are on 6 Geese Lane on the 12 Days of Christmas tags. Now this one I'm doing a little bit different and I wanted to share it with you. I'm really excited about it, and this one I'm going to be doing a little bit more stamping than what I have been doing. So this time I've already pre-covered my tag as I have some of the other days. On one side I pre-covered it in white, on the other side I covered it in red and trimmed it up. And then on this side I have this special stamp. This is from K. Andrew Designs, and this is a bonus stamp. And this bonus stamp you can only get it's a special promotional stamp. Now they were all out of these, and so we weren't going to be letting you know that we had them still, but she pre-ordered a few more, so be checking on the blog or on her website at kandrewdesigns.com, and I'll put a link to it over the next week or so to see what you can do to order this. She has a lot of great stamps, and this particular stamp came as a gift if you had placed an order of a certain amount, and I'm not sure what the new promotion is going to be now that she has new ones in stock, but be checking with this because this is a really fun stamp. The stamp that I'm using on this is this peppermint candy stamp. And what I've done on the red side is I have taken my Versamark ink pad and I have just randomly stamped this in Versamark. I was going to do white on both sides, and then I changed my mind, and then I was going to do where I stamped it in Versamark and then embossed it in white, but decided that was going to be too busy for our word 6 Geese Lane. So instead we're just going to just leave it in the Versamark. So let's work on the back side first. Now 6 Geese Lane, this one's kind of big, so I did have to trim it, and I'm actually going to be putting it kind of askew, but I'll show that in a minute. I hand tore it. Again, if you didn't see earlier in the project where I hand tore and I tore towards me, and that's the way you want to do it. It just gives you this rough edge, which I'm going to take right now, and I'm using my Red Berries Distress ink, and I'm just going to ink around the edge. And if you've torn towards you, then that paper picks up the ink. I mean, it would pick it up anyway because it's such a contrasting color, but it makes it look more distressed because it picks up on those torn edges where you're inking. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've got my peppermint candy here. I'm going to ink it using the same ink, and this time I want to work rather quickly. Now these distress inks, like pigment inks, you can emboss on. However, I want to do the whole thing and not emboss each individual one. So I'm just going to randomly put these peppermint candies all over it. Doesn't that remind you of Christmas? And it looks really Christmassy and reminds you of, at least me, of going to Grandma's house and getting the peppermint candy out of the jar. So we'll just set that aside, and now we're going to emboss them. Now I'm just using clear embossing powder, and I'm being really generous because whatever I knock off the top will just go right back into the bottle. So I'm pretty generous with it. I'm thinking of a different way to store it. I've seen some different ways that other people have stored it, and I'm thinking about changing the way I've stored it, but for now I'm just doing it like this. Now I have spots that it didn't adhere, so we'll add that. Okay, so that's ready to heat emboss. Let's just put our powder back inside and set the paper aside. And now I'm going to get my heat embossing tool, and I am going to emboss it. I'm going to do that off of camera. My embossing tool is really loud. I'm going to do it off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and here is my embossed tag. Isn't that pretty? I just love the way the stamp does it. Now, in some places I didn't get it stamped all the way down, and that's really okay because I am going to be covering that anyway. Now I decided that I wanted it to be distressed around the edges just to tie in all that red. You could leave it plain if you wanted, but I just wanted to make all of the pieces coordinate. And I actually even went through, and I did this earlier, but I'll just show you. I did this also on the red side, and though you can just barely see it, it just gives that edge kind of just a little more finish to it, and I really like that. So that is the stamping part of our tag, and now we're ready to put our tag together. So let's see, on the back side, want to see how I wanted to do this. Okay, this is going to be the front side of the tag where I have my 6 geese a lane. So this is geese a lane, and I just cut it out in white cardstock, so I've got a hair on it. And then I cut my goose, and then some yellow cardstock. Now to add a little bit of detail to the little goose, let's put his little eye in there, and it's just a little black dot. And you don't really know, I didn't really miss it until I put the eye on it, and then you can really see it. Now on the 6, I cut the 6, and the white I cut at 1.5 inches using the Joys of the Season cartridge on the 6 geese a lane, and I cut the 6 geese a lane in white on the shadow feature, and then I went back and cut it in the stripe paper in the regular feature just for the 6. And then the goose again is also at 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to set them on here. I don't want to adhere them too tightly because I may need to move them around a little bit. And I really didn't do a whole lot more decoration to this tag, just because I just wanted it to I wanted that stamp to really shine through and show you the candy. And I don't know, I've wanted to figure out some way I could use that stamp in this set, or in this series, just because I really like that stamp. Okay, so 6 geese a lane there. Now we're going to turn it over, and we're actually almost done. Now for our tag itself, I mean for our sentiment, and again I'll post on the blog today's sentiment link so that you can go find the sentiment from about.com. But for this one, I've done something that I haven't done on any of the others, and I've kind of off-centered it. It's hanging over the edges just a little bit, and I got to thinking, why does it matter? It's not like it's a card going in an envelope, and it adds a little bit of interest. So there's the 6 geese a lane. Now for our little tie, I have maraschino twine here from the Twinery, and if you remember correctly, my shipping tags that I'm using, each of them came with white, like it's like it's a wax cord or something, and I've been just discarding them and putting my own ribbon and stuff in the hole for the tag ribbon. But this time I decided to use both, just to add something a little bit different than what I've done before. So we're going to run both of those through the hole, maybe. And just run both of those through. Not as dexterous when I'm doing 2, I guess. There we go. And pull it through, and there's our tag. On the 6th day of Christmas, your true love gave to you 6 geese a lane. And you know what? We're halfway through. So thanks for watching. I hope you're going to link up your take on these tags and make up your own tags. And thanks for watching, and be back tomorrow for day 7. Have a great day.